Episode 1, The Pattern Disruptor. Consider this. Their darkest trauma is not a bridge to intimacy. It's a blueprint for your submission. Weaponized vulnerability. While many believe that sharing pain signifies healing, it can serve as a tactical lever for predators. Today, we shall unveil the mechanism of weaponized vulnerability and expose how your empathy is being manipulated to construct your own cage. Understand this. If you are unkind to another person, you generate a victim. That victim, in turn, learns to inflict unkindness on others, perpetuating a cycle of harm. This cycle can erase your legitimate pain and cause you to become the predator. You might have heard the term reactive abuse. When you defend yourself, it can make you appear unlawful, but that ends now. You have every right to protect yourself, and you must do so without sacrificing your own safety and well-being. Disrupting the cycle of abuse demands that you walk away from these victims. Yes, victims create more victims. They inflict trauma on others because they are consumed by their own unresolved pain, relying on conflict as their primary mode of interaction. But remember, peace does not arise from chaos. It only leads to destruction. Real peace is nurtured, not orchestrated. Human beings are inherently curious, emotional, and social creatures. While we are individuals, we depend on others to meet a range of needs fulfilled through implicit agreements grounded in our emotional intelligence. When we meet strangers and form friendships, we base our connections on their actions and, fundamentally, their words. Taking people at face value, we often mistakenly assume they share our moral values, a mistake we can no longer afford. Yes, we can validate truth through our experiences, insights from others, and outside influences. But too often we accept relationships because we are trusting and forgiving, drawn in by our already compromised empathy. We trust until betrayal happens, often after the other person has presented a compelling case for our trust. We must also confront the reality of parental authority, which is rarely questioned, regardless of validity. Why would you not trust your own mother or father? Yet those titles do not shield anyone from causing harm. They can enable victims to perpetuate their abuse and create a damaging legacy. Victims learn through their own painful experiences how it feels to endure harm without resolution. They know the silencing methods of gaslighting, threats, and coercion. They learn that Vulnerable victims do not get to choose what happens to them. The phrase, "If you cannot beat them, join them," reflects their strategy to control others without facing consequences, guilt, or remorse. They exploit their trauma as a means to elicit sympathy, weaken resistance, and gain trust, only to inflict pain and exploitation without hesitation. In such toxic dynamics, your needs, wants, and desires are overshadowed. Only their trauma appears to matter. It's time to reclaim your narrative and ensure that you are not just a pawn in someone else's game. Be safe.